Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. We are here at Brentford at the BTEC Community Stadium and I am joined by Manchester City legend Paul Dickov. Now, first things first, let's address the elephant in the room. The pink mic is missing because you might want to go and see what Kevin De Bruyne said on Inside City about the pink mic. He's taken your pink mic, Paul, but how happy are you to be here?
I'm delighted to be here. You know, place I know well for various reasons. Great club, so looking forward to the game tonight. You know, it's going to be tough. But Brentford, you know, they've been struggling recently, but look, the way the form you're in at the minute.
Now, for those watching on Matchday Live, you're probably wondering why Paul Dickov is so fond of this football club. Well, there is another member of the Dickov family who's very good at football, and his name is Max Dickov, and he is part of the academy set up here at Brentford. And you're obviously a massive fan of that.
Yeah, I am. Look, it's a great club. You know, Max is a couple of years ago was playing non-league football, and to come into an environment like this where they really look for the young players to thrive. But a little bit gutted actually. I came down here to see him and he's ended up going to Spain with the B team. He's sitting in 28 degrees. I mean, FG are freezing down here.
You don't look too bad. You've got a tan as well, but we'll come and discuss that throughout the show. Looking at the game real quick, obviously the pitch looks absolutely great. The away fans will be behind us. The stadium's lovely. How do you expect City to perform here?
Yeah, look, we're on a roll. It's 8 games, no competitions, winning streak. You know, not a lot of people are talking about that at the minute. Brentford have been struggling, although the last game here did get a win. But you know, people keep talking about the back-to-back defeats we had against them at home at the Etihad and away. I'm not looking too much into that. You know, to look at the form we're in, the players we've got coming back, everybody fit, and you know, I still don't believe we're firing fully yet, but we'll still have too much tonight.
Well, OK, all will be revealed. We will have the Manchester City team news here from Pitchside. Of course, some other bits to come. But let's head to the studio where Natalie is in the studio with some guests.
Thank you so much to FG and to Paul Dickov. They're going to be pitchside at Brentford for the whole of today. We'll see them numerous times. Thank you so much to them. Welcome to today's Match Day Live. I am in the studio with Joleon Lescott and with Darius Vassell. Thank you both for coming. And Match Day Live is always the first place to get all your team news. We'll bring you the full starting 11 the second that we are allowed. But you know what? I like to break the rules. I like to bend the rules a little bit. So I'm going to tell you something I already know. And if I get in trouble, then so be it. Erling Haaland starts. He is back. I am telling you earlier than I'm allowed to. Erling Haaland starts tonight. We'll bring you the full 11 the second that we are properly allowed. But lovely to see you both. Thank you so much. Darius, how's life? All good? Happy to be here?
Yeah, busy. I'm very busy, but good to be here. It's been a while. I think the last time I watched a City game, it wasn't the greatest game. It was away at Villa, I think. So didn't get the result that City wanted. But I'm here again. I think that it's a big chance to make a big statement today. I'm looking forward to see the game.
Oh, yes. Let's hope it's nothing like that last game that you watched. Yeah. Jolien, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Again, busy.
You were here for one of the broadcasters on Wednesday for the Burnley game.
Yes, I was here. It was quite a comfortable game, I would say. That's the way I would describe it. I don't think City got out of second gear. I think Burnley came to not be embarrassed as well. They had a go, but I think it was more a case of, well, we've lost 5 or 6 previously, so let's not let that happen again, and that was the outcome.
Yeah, I feel like everyone was a bit annoyed with the goal we conceded, but apart from that, yes, just a easy night's work, and let's hope it's like that again this evening. So I've already told you that Erling Haaland is in the starting 11 for this evening, but let's go back over to Brentford, back over to FG and to Paul Dickov, and they'll give you the full starting 11.
Yes, welcome back to the G-Tech Community Stadium with myself, Paul Dickov. You ready for the Man City team news, Paul?
Let's do it.
Well, let's get into it. In goal is Ederson. The captain today is Kyle Walker. And then there's a start for Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake and Josko Vardiol. Rodri plays with Bernardo and Kevin De Bruyne, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden, and a start for our number 9, Erling Haaland. The substitutes for Manchester City today are Stefan Ortega, John Stones, Mateo Kovacic, Jack Grealish, Jeremy Doku, Manuel Akanji, Mateus Nunes, Oscar Bob, and our very own Rico Lewis. First things first, Paul. What an exciting team. Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland back together.
I think that's what everybody wants to see. You know, I've not seen it since Burnley, right in second game of the season, first game of the season, I think it was. So to have them both back, look, Kevin's been back a few weeks now. I think the scary thing for everybody else was listening to what he was saying last week, and he feels he's still only at 60% yet. You know, the performances he's put in since then. And then obviously Erling had a little cameo against Burnley last week, and to have him back on here tonight, it would be important for us tonight. You know, Burnley are a big team. So, you know, his height, his strength, his physicality is going to be really important. But what a team, and trying to work out where everybody's playing, I don't know again, so I'll leave that one to you.
Well, he just took the next question exactly from me. Where do you think everyone is playing?
Well, look, I think the back four picks itself. Rodri picks itself. KDB in the middle, but then, you know, is Phil going to stay in the middle with Kevin De Bruyne? But he's been so successful recently, or is Bernardo going to come in there? Phil goes wide. Is Julian Alvarez going to play off Erling with Erling, or out wide as well? So, look, we could pick 5 different formations. We'll probably still get it wrong. So I think I'll leave that for Darius and Joleon to sort out in the studio.
The nice thing is about this starting 11 is the unpredictability, like you said. Let's talk about that midfield then. So the importance of the midfield, Rodri, De Bruyne, and I think maybe perhaps Bernardo or Phil, but whoever it is, they've also got the fact that they haven't won here last season against them, and they also didn't win in the league game at the Etihad last season against them. Will that be in the back of the mind of the players, do you think?
I think it will be. Look, the players are winners, and they'll be listening. There's been a lot of noise outside this week about people saying, oh, they've done the double over his last season, and fair play to them. You know, the game at the Etihad, I thought they were outstanding. I actually expect them to play very similar tonight as what they did there. A lot of long balls from the goalkeeper, long throws, set pieces. But, you know, the game at the end of the season, we'd won the league. I'm not going to say the players were on the beach. I think some of them were still probably in the pub at that time. They'd an FA Cup final to look forward to, the Champions League final to look forward to, so I'm not looking too much into that.
We mentioned long balls. Let's talk about the back four then, shall we? Let's talk about Nathan Ake and Ruben Diaz. They'll have their work cut out, but do you think one of the centre-halves will potentially try and stick on Ivan Toney? Ivan's obviously back. It's his second home game since, you know, everything that went on. Do you think one of the defenders is just going to stick on him?
Look, I think whatever side Ivan's on, you know, if he pulls off to the right-hand side, I think Nathan will deal with him. I think Diaz on the other side. But I think what's going to be important is Rodri from these goal kicks as well. You know, we can talk about our centre-halves. They don't want to get in a fight with Ivan Toney. And just maybe get Rodri just sitting in front of him a little bit, give a little bit of protection, and then it's second balls. You know, Brentford, they're a fantastic team, whether it be set pieces, whether it's balls from the goalkeeper. They'll crowd in the area and pick up the second balls, you know, so we're going to have to be looking out for that tonight. Well,
it's going to be a very interesting game indeed. Now, before we head back to the Matchday Live studio, we've got a little bit of an announcement for you, an official announcement here from Pitchside, which is the Player of the Month, the Etihad Player of the Month from January, and the winner of that is none other than our number 17, Kevin De Bruyne. So massive congratulations to KDB. Let's head back to the studio with our Etihad Player of the Month, KDB.
Thank you very much to FG and to Paul Dickov. KDB's not in the studio, by the way. Definitely sounded like that, didn't it? No, he's not. He is in the starting 11 for this evening. I make that 4 changes from the team that beat Burnley. So Walker, Diaz, Bernardo and Haaland all back in the starting 11, which when you think about how much they've been a part of the spine of this team for so long, they're all coming back into the starting 11 this evening. But a big congratulations to Kevin De Bruyne. So back from injury, handful of games, already winning Player of the Month. The man has made a statement since he came back, Joleon.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely impacted the games he's played in. I think there is a little bit of sentiment involved in that decision as well. Listen, his impact against Newcastle was outstanding. Definitely deserved all the accolades, all the praise after that, but I don't think he's featured in every game enough to be Player of the Month. I think the other candidates...
You can tell him that if you see him.
No, I'll tell him that. He doesn't not deserve it, but like I'm saying, if it was spread out across the month in regarding to games played, what has he featured in, 2 or 3? And they've played 9, I think. So, yeah, it's pretty impressive.
In terms of assists, I read an incredible stat today. So his last assist that he got in the last game has taken him to 104 Premier League assists now. He's jumped Wayne Rooney in the all-time Premier League assists now. Wayne Rooney had 103. Ahead of him, Ryan Giggs is at the top, 162, and his second is Cesc Fabregas on 111. So he's only 7 assists behind Cesc Fabregas. But the difference in the number of games that they've played, Darius, is nuts. So he's on he's played 245 Premier League games and had 104 assists. Cesc Fabregas has played 350 to get to 111. So
Giggs has played about 600.
Yeah, Giggs is
632.
Oh,
I should have made that. I should have made that a quiz question for you. Very nice.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's so close to them on so less a number of games, it's insane.
It is crazy. It's almost not worth comparing it in terms of the rate that he's doing it as. They say that it's just as important as scoring a goal, and it is. It is. And he scores goals as well. I think the big thing about today is combination with Haaland. That's what we want to see. We want to see that come to fruition, or them to practice that and get good at that leading in towards the end of the season. Because certainly they've got some chemistry together. And obviously while teams are trying to stop those pair, there's other players that can get in on the action as well. So he's certainly got an eye for the assist. Great to see him back. Looking forward to him doing what he does best this evening.
He's just played in 6 games this season, 199 minutes he's played in total this season. He's been involved in 5 goals, 1 goal, 4 assists, averaging a goal involvement every 40 minutes. Man needs 40 minutes, Joleon, to make an impact.
Yeah, that statistic is stupid. Like, every half he's involved in a goal, which is great because then it averages 2 goals a game minimum. Do you know what I mean? So that's where you've got to look at it. So then you're thinking, well, teams have to score 2 to get anything out of the game, which is where you want to be as a team.
FG and Paul Dickov were talking about where people are going to play, and they threw it so kindly to both of you, so I feel like I have to follow up there. Where do you think that front, the attackers, how can you see them? If we're going to say Kev's in the middle and Erling's up front, where's everybody else?
I don't know. That's the thing I'm really struggling with to decide on. There'll obviously be 2 players that occupy the width, and that's normally where City have the most joy in regards to forcing teams back and keeping them deep. Who that's going to be, I'm hoping it's not Phil, to be honest. I think he's had so much joy and had so much of an impact inside. I'd love to see him in there with KDB. I think that's arguably one of the most exciting midfields ever. Like, in regards to, you've got Rodri, who's obviously does what he does and his importance, but then you've got KDB and Phil. And I think they complement each other because they're so opposite. Like, you'll have to close Kevin down because he can play the ball from anywhere and he can create an opportunity out of nothing, where if you close Phil down, he's just going to manipulate the ball and go past you. So it'd be great to see them inside together.
Do you think perhaps Alvarez and Bernardo out wide?
I don't think that. I don't.
Interchanging?
But I'd like to see that. Yeah.
I think it'll be fluid.
Yeah.
I think what will happen is the game will obviously play, and Pep will look for where the gaps are. I think Phil might start out wide and then come inside if Pep sees fit, or during play, regular play, they're going to switch anyway and try and get wherever they get the advantages from. But it's great to see everybody back in the team.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's wonderful to hear Pep finally say that we've got a fully fit squad, which obviously we've not had all season. It's just absolutely wonderful. If I was going to ask you a quiz question that I'm just making up here on the spot, which player in that starting 11 today has played all 21 Premier League games this season? What do you think? And it's not Edison, I'll give you that straight away. It's not Edison. One of those players has played all 21.
As in started or
just featured?
Started all 21 Premier League games. Yeah. Details there. One of them has started all 21 Premier League games. Any ideas?
I'm going to say Phil or Ake.
No.
No? Bernardo.
Darius?
Walker?
Nope.
He didn't play the last one. This has got to be Bernardo.
Nope.
Oh, Alvarez.
Just say
Alvarez. I know, we were nearly through the whole team, weren't we? But that's
Alvarez,
why I thought that was such a brilliant stat, because I feel like it's unexpected.
Oh, yeah.
He's just quietly going about his business. He scored 7 goals in his last 7 outings in all competitions. He's just really having a quiet but standout season at the same time.
Yeah, I think he's just doing what he's done since he's arrived, hasn't he? He just has so much impact on the team. And up until Kevin was back, he's like taking set plays, which again, I think that was the kind of noticeable difference this season. When you seen him on set pieces, free kicks, corners, you're like, well, we didn't even know you were next in line. Do you know what I mean? So he's obviously got a high level of ability.
I think he's taken advantage as well as the fact that there's so much quality players in the team that it's hard to deal with everyone when you're the opposition, and sometimes you find yourself with the opportunities that the other ones have been stopped.
No, but to be fair, even in the last game, Alvarez, like, wherever he plays it like at a high level, because we've seen him operate as a 10, which I think we've seen last season. We've seen him out wide, but last game against Burnley, he was saying he was the 9. And I don't remember him coming short. I don't remember him getting frustrated with not receiving the ball. It was literally just, where am I supposed to be when the ball's near the goal? I'm supposed to be in the middle of the goal. And this is what he was doing. Again, we often talk about Haaland and the limited touches he has, but the goals he scores. And I think that was similar for Alvarez in the last game. I can't remember any real moments of him having multiple touches and then all of a sudden he's in the box and it's 2-0.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think it was his best game off the ball, but he got 2 goals, and so
he was man of match. He was man of match for me. Yeah, because his impact was there. Like, Darius will know better than me. His goals were strikers' goals. Like, midfielders don't make them runs, don't put themselves in them positions because they don't think like strikers. Yeah. They just, like, strikers think differently and see an opportunity where, like, forward players now don't.
I love that's Pep running to his set piece coach, right? Yeah, I think so. From a striker's point of view, then, in terms of Alvarez, is this season and these goals, Darius, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. He's putting himself in areas where he can score goals, and I think, as I said, he's taken advantage of the fact that it's very difficult to mark every one of City's players. They're all good. They're all putting themselves in good positions, and while the defenders are closing certain players down, he's finding the gaps, and obviously he's got the ability to stick it in the back of the net. He's in great form.
So attacking-wise, it's great to have them all back. But, of course, defensive-wise as well, everybody's back as well. So we've got the selection of everybody. In terms of the back four today, of course, Walker, Diaz, Ake and Guardiola. Guardiola, who's just seems to be becoming a left-back. He just seems to be his
I think he's
now.
Naturally taking onto that and getting better, more confident. There's a couple of occasions against Burnley where he's making marauding runs and, like, forcing play forward. Even for the Núñez goal, I think he's like next in line to pick it up and he's a right wing. Do you know what I mean? So he's obviously getting more confident with his body and understanding that, I can showcase what I'm good at. So, yeah, he's performing very, very consistently, and like I said, he's not a natural left-back, so you've got to give him a lot of credit for that.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how he develops in that position over, like, the next year, like the next 18 months, like the more coaching he gets.
But I also think naturally he will drift inside. I think maybe he's played more than the manager would have anticipated this season. I don't think there's many players that come in year one and play as many games as he's probably done so far, but I think naturally they thought, well, we'll move him inside, and hence why you can let Laporte go, because you're getting someone of the same mould before a younger version.
Yeah, I still can't believe he's just turned 22. Phenomenal. So that is his starting 11 for today. As always, if you would like to ask us a WhatsApp question, you can do that. So the number is on your screen now. Feel free to ask our guests anything you want, anything about their personal lives, anything about football. I'll throw everything. My favourites are always about films and music and food, and yes, we'll ask them. Send them in to us using that WhatsApp number that is on your screen now. We'll get through as many as we possibly can. So the City starting 11, you know that. It is time to have a look now at Brentford's starting 11 for this evening. So in goal, it is Flecken. And then it's Rusloff, Collins, Pinnock, Mee, Reguilon, Jensen, Norgard, Janelt, Malpai and Toney. And you can see the substitutes there on your screen as well. So that's Brentford's starting 11 for this evening. Of course, the first name that jumps out there is Ivan Toney. He is back. He's had a couple of games now. He scored in both of them. Obviously, he scored against us last season as well, that winning goal here at the Etihad as well. So Ivan Toney's back. Darius, you expected a big game from him?
Yeah, always do when he plays. He's never flatters to deceive. I think that in the same way, though, we spoke about Alvarez, danger man might be Maupay. City spend a lot of time, or will have to spend a lot of time, looking after Ivan Toney. And that's where Maupay can find gaps and find situations for himself. So I think the back four of City are going to have to really be on form today. It's not just Ivan Toney. I do think the other players around him might get opportunities just because of his presence.
Of course, we know that there's results we had against them last season. That, you know, they beat us. They were on a rare occasion of a team that beats us home and away last season. Obviously, circumstances towards the end of the season, but they did beat us home and away. What do you think they'll take from those games, Joleon, that they can bring into today, or anything? Is it too long ago now?
No, I think, like, especially in this game, I think they went a little bit more direct, caused problems, but also recognised that City will have a lot of possession, so don't get frustrated because you know you can create opportunities out of nothing. And I think it was not necessarily this goal, the second goal, it was like City were attacking and all of a sudden you're 2-1 down kind of thing. So I think they'll recognise that they have to be patient because City will control the tempo of the game, but they will get opportunities, and if they fall to Toney, he tends to score because they're going to have to be efficient with their chances, because I can't see them outnumbering Man City with chances.
We know the situation of his ban, and we know that he was out for 8 months. I mean, in terms of his mentality now, Darius, do you think he feels like he's got something to prove? Is he going to be even more kind of desperate to be getting the goals?
Yeah, I think that's a sign of a top player, when they use what's going on in their lives to propel them further forward when they get on the pitch. He's certainly doing that because he's come back and he's showing the business, isn't he? So I think he will take a bit of motivation from that, but he's a good player, and that's the be-all and end-all. He doesn't have to be out for 8 months to prove that. He's a good player anyway.
Defensively this season, Brentford have struggled a bit. They haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 11 Premier League games.
Cheers, Nat. Cheers.
No, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. I'm not jinxing it. I'm not having that. What do you think's happened to them defensively this season?
I think Toney's probably impacted that. The way they have to play slightly different. They probably haven't been able to go as direct, so you're playing out a bit more, which means you're more vulnerable to losing it and more susceptible to losing it in your defensive third. But there won't be one reason. It won't be the defender's fault. It will just be a combination of a lot of things, and whenever it is going bad, you just want to be like hard to beat at times. But knowing Thomas Frank and the way they think about the game, they won't be looking to keep clean sheets if it means them risking their goal scoring. I think they think about goal scoring way more than they worry about keeping clean sheets, because in order to win the games, you need to score. So their substitutions, their set pieces, they're big on stats, and their analysis is based on percentages and little wins. So they'll base everything decision on, well, how do we optimise goal scoring rather than how do we just win this game if we bring on an extra defender.
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 games have ended 3-2 in the 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. In all of those games, they took the lead, but they only ended up winning one of those games as well. So it does feel like, you know, they're having big, high-scoring games at the minute.
Yeah, and there's a psychological effect of that as well. You know, you put your all into these football matches and end up losing after going a goal ahead. It takes its toll. You can go into games after that. I wouldn't like to say I've experienced it that much, but you go into games after that almost thinking it's impending. Even if you score, it might not be enough. And that energy can work against you in football matches. Obviously, they've got a massive game in terms of the competition in Man City. It's going to be really difficult for them to break out of that, you know, psychological zone if they're in it.
So we talk about Ivan Toney, but other key players in the Brentford starting 11 today. You mentioned Maupay before, scored in all 4 of Brentford's games so far in 2024. Maupay's going to be a threat as well.
Yeah, definitely. Had a tough time at Everton. I do like him as a player. He would definitely be hard to play against and frustrating to play against, but he's not prolific, is he?
No.
He may need 2 or 3 chances, and that's the difference. Like, you may not get that. It may be a half chance in another game in regards to what tonight's opportunities look like, so they're going to have to be efficient. And Breno's away, obviously, so I think he's a big miss for them. I think he's carried the burden of Ivan Toney not being there, and I think he's done exceptionally well. But listen, they're no mugs. They'll know and they'll be confident because they can score. And yes, they haven't kept clean sheets, but I'm sure they've scored in a lot of them games, and that always gives you confidence.
And somebody else in the starting 11 is Ben Mee. He's obviously a Manchester City former academy graduate. FG and Paul Dickov have managed to speak to him, or they are speaking to him right now. We will give you that interview with Ben Mee very, very shortly. Not in the starting 11 today, but I wanted to ask you about Lewis Potter, because did you work with him for England at 21s?
Yeah,
yes.
Lewis, yeah, he's, again, a good player. Kind of like the mould of Jude Bowen. kind of like a winger that a forward that I see has an eye for a goal. Great IQ, football IQ, and the timing of his runs doesn't probably, in the greatest respect to him, have a standout quality, but he's very good at everything, and that combined means he's effective. So yeah, he's a nice guy as well. So you always want him to do well. And I was around. We was in a camp when this was kind of happening, and there was speculation, and yeah, pleased it finally went through.
So, any other names, any other players in the team that you think we need to keep an eye out, or anyone that we watching? Any interesting battles you're expecting?
Not particularly. I'm just thinking set pieces. I think if I'm Brentford, set pieces are going to be a risk for Man City, and obviously a chance or an opportunity for Brentford to go and nick a goal when they're not having that much possession. So either of those centre-backs, whoever they send up for those set pieces, is going to be a danger, I believe, tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're brave as anyone, set piece-wise, so don't be surprised if it's something you haven't seen before. I think a lot of teams now that are having set-piece coaches, but these were one of the pioneers in regards to how they approach set pieces. I think they bring everyone forward for corners and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's an opportunity to maybe for Man City to transition into an opportunity for themselves.
Yeah, I think we've got a really good record. I heard it this week, and I forget now about set pieces. I feel like we've got the second or third highest set piece goals in the league, and we saw obviously Pep running to his set piece coach there as well after the Burnley game as well. Thank you. So that is the Brentford team news for today. We're going to head back over now pitchside, because Paul Dickov and FG, they've grabbed Brentford's head of content. I didn't think I'd be reading that out tonight. Stuart Wakeford. He is going to be telling us a little bit more about that Brentford team.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. Welcome back to Pitchside. We've seen the Brentford team news, and it's only right we have a representative from Brentford to join us. We're joined by Stuart, who's the head of content. We've just seen your team. What can we be excited for?
I'll tell you what I'm excited for is seeing Ivan and Neil up front again. I mean, we've only been able to see it twice, and they're just a handful. I mean, surely someone like yourself, Paul, would appreciate a front two like that.
Well, look, I've been contacted on social media saying Neil Maupay is the Mediterranean Paul Dickov, so I will take that all day long.
It's going to be interesting, those two up front. Look, I'm not stupid. You've got an unbelievable side out there today. I think, look, we've got to take belief in the two results last season. I think, look, we can say what you want about form and that going in. I know this place, under the lights, on Sky TV, I know the boys are up for it, and yeah, I think, look, having Reguilon come in at left wing back for us is a big thing. Couldn't play against Spurs in the week, so yeah, for us to have a natural left-sided wing back or left back, which we've not really had much of since Rico's been injured, I think that's huge for us. I think Vita, Christian and Matty, you've got two people that will run all game, and then Matty's got a bit on the ball, classy player, creative. And then, yeah, the terrible two up front who no one likes playing against. So you know what? I'm not stupid. I know how good you guys are, but I'm optimistic, yeah.
So what are you expecting? I mean, look, I'm going to wipe out the game here last year because we'd already won the league.
I thought you might, yeah.
And with the FA Cup and the Champions
League.
No, of course, not, only joking. But the game of the Etihad, I was super, super impressed.
Yeah.
You know, not just how he's set up, but how he's actually went to City and had a go at them. You know, a lot of long balls into the box, picking up second balls, a lot of energy and hitting us in the break. Are you expecting more of the same tonight?
Yeah, I think, look, we know that sometimes we have to mix it. Sometimes we're going to be out of possession a lot of the game, and today's probably going to be one of those ones. I think we saw in the week against Spurs how dangerous we are on the counter. I guess you guys saw that as well at the Etihad that day at the end of the game. We know that we have got quick players who can play on the break. I expect, yeah, we won't see loads of the ball. In a home game, that's quite unusual, but I think we are going to have to mix up. The difference now, having Ivan here, where we've not had him all season, is when it does go up, my word, does it stick. He like, it's weird. I'm not saying I forgot how good he was, but just seeing how he brings people in the game, how also he brings two people to him every time. He brings other defenders' attention to him, which frees up space for other players. And yeah, I think we will. I think the other big thing for us is obviously set pieces. I know you guys have got massively better at set pieces and probably one of the best in the league at set pieces as well. And I know Pep's mentioned it in the build-up to this game. But yeah, I think set pieces will be a big thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, sometimes we do go a little bit longer into Ivan and look to play off him. But you've got to mix up when you're playing Man City, and yeah, I think there's no reason why not.
Just on Ivan Stone, you know, completely different players. But I look at Kevin De Bruyne come back into the City team, and We know we've got wonderful, wonderful players, but what it does, the players around him raise their game. And I think Ivan's the exact same. I think his teammates know how important they are and how good he is. And because his level's up there, they want to bring their level up to that as well.
100%. And I think just having been around the training ground, just seeing, first of all, the lift when he was able to come in and start training with the guys, you saw a lift then. And then as the game got bigger, and look, I know people will say a lot of the hype around it maybe went a bit too much, but for us, this crowd got right up behind it in that Forest game. And I think you're right. I think the players, it's exciting for them. But it's been the same, speaking to them about every time we've had a player come back from an injury. Ivan's had, it's the same thing. It's almost like we've had an injured player for 8-9 months. So it's definitely given everyone a lift. And the way he started with 2 goals in 2 games, Neil 2 goals in 2 games as well. Yeah, it's huge. It's a lift to the players, the staff, everyone here. And whatever people say, Ivan loves this club, and you can see how much he loves it.
Now, today's fixture, of course, there's a lot more riding on it in terms of from a charities perspective. So very much like Manchester City, Brentford do a lot with the community, and it's something that's very, very close to home today. Do you want to just tell the people on Matchday Live about?
Yeah, so today is one of our designated Heart of West London fixtures. We had one earlier in the season against Burnley, and this is our commitment and long-term campaign supporting 5 different heart health charities. So as part of that, we've been raising vital funds for research towards heart health. We've done screenings that supporters or anyone, to be fair, between the ages of 16 and 35 can go and get heart screens. We've been doing CPR demos regularly at every game. We have the QR code all around the ground in the programme and on the screen, so people can scan it and they can learn CPR. And it's obviously a big thing for us. Our technical director, Robert Rowan, tragically lost his life at just 26, and he's a huge part of this club. And he created the B team, who I know obviously Max is now part of. Our training facility is named after Robert. And I'd also like to say thanks so much to Man City. Obviously brought the side down at the back end of last season for the first ever Robert Rowan Memorial game, and it meant so much to us. We got a great crowd because, again, you guys coming down and the support you gave us, you promoted it online and stuff, so it is something really close to us, and I'm really proud as a Brentford fan, also having known Robert, that we are doing these amazing things, and it has made a real impact in the local community. The players are wearing the QR code on the shirt today as well to raise more awareness, so yeah, thanks as well for letting me mention that, but yeah, it's a huge thing for us.
Well, keep up the great work off the pitch, of course. We hope you enjoy the game tonight. Not too much. You had your fun last season. But thank you so much.
We could do with it today, please.
Thank you so much for joining us on Match Live. We could definitely do it as well. Let's head back to the studio.
Thank you so much. I love that. How wonderful. We're so very proud of City and the community and everything that they do here. So I'm sure Brentford feel, and you can tell that they feel exactly the same about the work that they're doing in their community as well. So best of luck to them with all of that community and charity work that's going around the game this evening, and everything else they do as well. So we heard a lot of talk there about Ivan Toney. He was obviously very excited that he's back. You can tell what Ivan Toney means to Brentford. In terms of relying on him, though, there's been quite a few headlines since he came back about Brentford relying on him. In terms of goals last season, he got 20 Premier League goals. There's only 2 players that got more than him, which was, of course, Erling Haaland and Harry Kane. So do you, Darius, as a striker, think it's a fair assessment to say that Brentford are reliant on Ivan Toney?
I think it's unfair to say that. I think a lot of hard work goes into winning football matches. It's rarely just down to one person. What I will say is that to have him in the team, and I'm trying to take myself back to when I was a player, sometimes, when you're getting changed for a game, you look round at what players you've got. You would have been through this with City, and he's one of those that when he's in the team, he will lift you naturally. You think, oh, we've got a chance. So that's the importance, I think, that he brings. But I wouldn't say that it's all down to him. I think that's a bit unfair to the rest of the lads.
Yeah, definitely don't think it's all down to him, but it's a high percentage. Like, I think if he's not, say he's not there for the season, they are high possibility they go down.
Big chance, yeah.
You know what I mean? So then he is. But
is that because there's a demotivating side to it?
Both.
You know what I mean?
But it doesn't matter. Just the impact of him. Just the impact of him on his teammates, the impact on the team, the impact on the opposition. He's impactful. So however you describe to whether it is goals or just the fear factor, or like we were speaking then in terms of ball retention, his capabilities to relieve pressure by just receiving longer balls, whatever it is, he has a massive impact on them. So yeah, I would say they're reliant on him more than say we are on any one of our players.
What do you think he's sort of, if you're looking at him as a striker and you look, what's his kind of greatest strengths, do you feel?
At the moment, it's his eye to get a goal, to nick a goal. I think, as Joleon says, teams will be drawn to put him away, to look after him. and that gives other people opportunities, a little bit more space. I think that he does hold up the ball really well. He does look after it. He's strong. He draws fouls. At the moment, he's in a good vein of form. But I think the big thing is he's bringing goals to the table. Those are the deciding factors of football matches. And when he's in the team, you will believe, if you're a player in that team, that you've got a better chance of scoring with him there.
Do you think he's got time to push himself to be considered for the England squad?
Well, we're just discussing him with regards to his future at Brentford. You know, he's going to be in high demand. I think England need to have a good look at him. They tend to do that. They're really good at that, looking at the good players that are coming through. Would you say he's in his the prime of his career right now?
Age-wise, you'd probably say most players around 28, 29, they're physically at their peak and their understanding of the game. Like, you may get more experience as you get older, but physically you're not at your peak. So you'd probably say it's prime time coming. But in terms of England, I think there's a few players ahead of him. I think Watkins is definitely one. Harry Kane, obviously. And I don't know if you take a third choice out-and-out striker, and then I think that one can be form. I don't think it needs to be a specific quality. So if that was the case, you could strike a case for Wilson, Solanke. Do you know what I mean? There's players in better form, because I think the third choice doesn't need to be that specific for me, anyway.
I think he deserves an opportunity at playing for England. My thoughts are, once he gets that
in the
opportunity,
Euros.
Before anything, anything friendly, anything, he deserves an opportunity now at least. What I was thinking is once he gets that opportunity, then it's up to him, and he is in the prime of his career. He can go and take that wherever he wants, if he gets the opportunity and does well.
It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with all of the England players and all of the players that have got a chance of getting into squads coming up. Sadly, one of those players that will not be going to the Euros is Erling Haaland, which I feel like is sad for him, but it's also good for us in a very, very selfish way. I mean, I've been putting his feet up for the summer, Joleon.
Yeah.
I read another, you know, I like David James. I know I love like a random stat.
But real ones. Don't give me James ones that are just random. That might not even be true.
Very, very random sometimes. You'll know if you watch his programme regularly, we're all in a WhatsApp group, and David James does send some of the maddest stats. But this is a good one. So Erling Haaland has played against 21 teams now, and he's scored against 20 of them. Which team do you think, Darius, he has not scored against?
So it's Brentford.
In the Premier League, yes. So he's played 21 Premier League teams and he scored against 20 of them. Amongst players to face at least 3 teams, only Harry Kane has scored against every team he's played against. That's 32 teams for him. But still, I mean, we're only into his second Premier League season. If he scores tonight, he's scored against everybody.
Yeah.
Do you think he's aware of that?
Do you think, would you be?
Goal's a goal. I don't know. That was... Well, I couldn't compare any. He's thinking of different things than I was. I just wanted to score if I can. He's thinking about scoring against every single team.
Nah, I think he's just thinking about scoring.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, I don't think he's scoring about...
He's not fussed, is he? He'll probably look at that at the end of the season.
Because if he was thinking, if they're so subscribed in their thinking, I don't know if Harry Kane leaves because he's thinking about getting the record of all time, but I just think it's goals and trophies. Yeah. Forget who they're against. Like, I think he would care if United win them games. You know them games. Like, if you're saying to him he can score a hat-trick against one team, he's going to pick United, sort of stuff like that. But in the greatest respect, I don't think he's thinking I need to score against Brentford. I think he's thinking I want to score to win the game more than anything else.
And score because he's obviously just come back from a 2-month...
Yeah.
But I still believe he's thinking about the Golden Boot.
Is he still top of that? I feel like he might... No.
No, Ollie Watkins
How far away
is up there. I think he might be third, maybe. I don't know if I've seen
considering he's missed 2
That's what I mean, yeah, he's
months
missed a lot.
of the season as well.
So he's on 14, is he?
Contention.
Have a look, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, but no, he'll definitely be thinking about that.
He's joint top.
Joint top.
Him and Salah are both on 14.
And have missed the last
Solanke's
5
on
weeks.
13.
Yeah.
And
Salah's
then
not even here, is it?
Son is on 12. Ollie
Son's
Watkins is
away.
on 11. Jared Bowen's on 11.
Yeah.
Richarlison is on 10.
Yeah, he's people like that thinking about their strongest competition. So, like, if I think back to Sergio's time, he constantly, who are Liverpool playing? Because I know Suarez is going to score. Like, he would literally say, he's going to score 2 today. I need to score 3. And, like, that was the way he would think because that's who he saw as his competition. So I'm sure he's got the eye on thinking, well, Salah's been there for the last 7 years. Harry Kane's gone, so he's buzzing. So he's thinking, OK, I just need to beat Salah, and then he potentially wins the Golden Boot.
That's so interesting that that's like a mindset thing. Although he does need to look behind him because Solanke's just quietly.
You don't look behind you.
No.
Yeah, no. Players like that don't. They look at the top. You only look behind you when you're looking down at the rest.
Look at De Bruyne.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just make a run.
Get some
make a run, make a run, and then De Bruyne will find him. Yeah.
I mean, considering that is crazy, he's been out for 2 months and he's still, joint top there of 14 goals. It's just wonderful news for us that he's now back and fit, and like we say, he'll be as raring to go as ever now.
Yeah, certainly. Again, like I said, boost to everybody. We want to watch him score. Players in the team want to, get him assists, and obviously the fans, they can't wait to celebrate him coming back and getting back on the score sheet.
How do you think because obviously we've adapted without him, and that sounds crazy because we've won so many games obviously when he's been out. Now he's back. How do you think that might change the way Alvarez plays or the structure around him?
I think it's easier for everyone to kind of revert back to what it was last season. I think the biggest change is that it's him and Kevin. I think his chances changed, the type of chances he received different when Kevin wasn't there, because Kevin was putting balls on when he was making a run with the view, like I said about Phil. Phil's chances, he may create a similar amount, a different style, so the player has to be closer to Erling, and he's thinking, well, now I have to adapt my thought process and be a bit more patient with my runs, because the player has to be closer to us, where Kevin's like, I'm on the halfway line, I'm going to make a run. And you're going to put it into an area where defenders can't reach it, and so it's different types of chances.
It opens up the amount of opportunities he can get, because I think you're right in what you're saying there. If my memory serves me correctly, because I'm getting old now, but when I used to play, I'd make different runs when different players got the ball. It's like it opened different things up. So if a certain player got the ball, and you're definitely getting it sometimes from certain players.
Just the attempts, and it's just the attempt. It's like, wow, I know he can play that pass. Like, Phil probably picks up the ball in the halfway line. He's not thinking about passing it. I'm going to need to beat this player, and then I'm sliding you in. Where Kevin's like, I can play you. He's not thinking about beating someone. So there's not a right or wrong decision. It's just different capabilities. And then it's down to Erling to recognise, well, I can't make my run yet because the ball's not going to be played.
Kevin will think about where Haaland is before Kevin receives the ball. So he's already thinking of the pass before he's got the ball, and Haaland will know that he's doing that, and that's how the connection's made.
I love that, the magic that goes on in Kevin De Bruyne's head. He's playing the ball before the person he's playing it to knows that he's going to get it.
But again, everyone has that thought process, but it's just different circumstances. Like Erling will have a thought of where he's shooting. I haven't got the ball yet. I don't know where the ball's coming, but when it comes, I know where I want to pull it. So everyone has the same thoughts in terms of like the process, but it's just different outcomes to what that thought is.
Oh, I'm so unbelievable. Are you all as excited as I am about watching Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland
better play
again?
Well. It'd be a strong possibility one of them's going to play well. You know what I mean? Both of them are going to be
averages tell us we've got a decent chance. I mentioned a little bit earlier, in the Brentford starting 11 tonight is, of course, Ben Mee, a Manchester City Academy product. And he so very kindly stopped and chatted to FG and to Paul Dickov a little bit earlier on.
Yes, welcome back to Pitchside at MATCHDAY. I'm with Paul Dickov and a very special guest, former Manchester City and current Brentford player Ben Mee. First things first, my first memory of you was 2008, the Youth Cup final at the Etihad. What were your memories of Manchester City when you were there?
Good times, yeah, very good times. You know, we had a really good academy side at that time, and the Youth Cup run was a really special time for me.
It was a special time for the club, actually, it was. How much did the academy set up help your journey to obviously getting you to where you are today, but also how much has it changed at the Manchester City Academy from what it was when you were there to what it is now?
Yeah, the club gave me a massive education, and you know, the coaches, the staff around there were a massive help for me at a young age and moving up through the years. And yeah, it's changed immensely, changed massively. The club's grown so much, and you know, it's nice to go back there and see familiar faces.
Just obviously into Brentford now, because you're a Brentford player now. Obviously I know quite a bit about the club, with Max being here, and the culture and the environment of it. And you know, obviously that comes, not in the stadium but the training ground, that comes from the top from Thomas. But what sort of inputs do the senior players like yourself have in it?
Yeah, there's a lot of conversations going on at the club. The manager's very open, the staff are very open, and yeah, there's really good lines of communication. The club's looking to progress, move forward, and have input wherever they can. And you know, I've fit in really well here. I've enjoyed it. A lot of young players knocking around, including your son. We see around a lot, and yeah, no, it's a fantastic place to be, to work, and yeah, it's a club that's moving forward.
And going on to tonight, how do you prepare for this tonight? And obviously, last season you had 2 fantastic results against Man City. But them come here tonight, winning 8 games in the bounce, everybody back fit again.
Yeah,
but I'm sure you'll have your own game plan as well, what you're going to do.
Yeah, we have our own game plan, but we know it's going to be a really difficult game. Obviously, beating City twice last year is going to fire them up even more. And yeah, we're going to have to be right on it today. They're in good form. They usually start motoring now at this time of year, and they've got players back, and Kevin's firing and Haaland's back, and yeah, we're going to have to face top players. So yeah, looking forward to the challenge.
I know Max trained with you on Saturday, but he's not giving me anything away. I've been trying to fire into him as well. So I promise you on that.
I hope not.
Well, let's actually get some insight on Max Dickov now from you. So obviously, a very, very big fan of the Dickov family, Manchester City fans, as you know. What can we expect from Max and his future?
Yeah, he's been doing well, hasn't he, in the B team, and been training with us a little bit, in and out, and yeah, just that progression. He's at the right club to do it, so hopefully he can keep moving forward and keep working hard.
Is he behaving?
He's behaving, yeah. He's
didn't want to hear that.
He's behaving, keeping him in check. No, he's a good lad.
He was actually flexing his Instagram follow from you as well, and he was really happy that we were with you. But Ben, thank you so much. A quick word on tonight's game. You said, obviously, let's talk about the fact that you did the double over Manchester City last season, the only team to do that. Will that play into your favour, or is it just completely different?
No, it's a completely different scenario. The times we played City maybe helped us a little bit last season, and yeah, like I say, this time of year, City start playing well, they're going to come here and be right on it, and like I say, we need to be up for the challenge, need to be right on it ourselves, and looking forward to the game. To be fair, we always fancy ourselves here under the lights, and yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in action. Best of luck. Thank you for joining us on Matchday Live. That was Ben Mee and Paul Dickov. Let's head back to the studio.
Thank you so much to Ben Mee for chatting to us. Thank you to Brentford for letting Ben Mee stop and have a chat with us there, and to FG and to Paul Dickov. I'm in the studio still with Joleon Lescott and with Darius Vassell. And do you know how many times in your careers you played against each other?
5.
Did you read it in the script?
No.
Yeah.
I don't read the script. Ad-lib me.
It was 5. So 4 times you were at Everton while you were at City, Darius, and the other was an FA Cup game when you were at City and you were at Leicester. Do you want to guess your record? Who won more of the games?
4-1.
3-1.
3-1, sorry.
3-1-1, yes. So you won 3 games against Darius, all when you were at Everton against City. Brilliant. Cheers, Joleon.
I think I scored a couple of them games,
We're going to show it in a minute. Don't worry. We'll set you up. We'll set you up. Darius, you won one of them when you were at City against his Everton, and then there was the FA Cup game was a draw. Yes, you scored. Your prolific goal-scoring season, I feel like we don't talk about enough.
It doesn't get enough credit, that.
It really doesn't.
From a left-back, it's 10 goals.
10 goals that season.
I think it was 10 goals and 5 assists that season.
Was that 7-8?
Yeah, it was, yeah. That's nowadays, it's 100 million.
Darius, he got 10 Premier League goals that season. Can you remember how many you got?
No, it wasn't Premier League. It wasn't Premier League. There was a couple of European. There was a couple of Euro. Yeah, it wasn't Premier League.
What season was it?
7-8.
You got 8 Premier League goals in 7-8. He was left back.
No pens.
How many did I get? I don't know.
You got 6. He got 8. The left back.
Ghosting forward, I was.
What was it about that season? And by the way, that was the year when everybody was buying you in fantasy football,
I still get, people still talk about that, especially Everton fans, literally must have won so much money putting me as any-time goal scorer. Yeah. There's so many fans went on holiday off the back of that. I don't know, to be fair. When I look back now, Glenn Hoddle at Wolves used to have me doing finishing sessions all the time, and say, you get so many chances, but you never convert. So I was like, why am I finishing? Surely I'd just be defending crosses. He'd be like, no. So he used to pull me back on my own, and then I'll go to Everton, and next thing you know, I'm scoring 10 goals in a season, which is crazy.
Scoring good goals as well. That's Mikel Arteta jumping on you back there, I noticed.
Keeping Leighton Baines at the team. What am I doing as a left-back? Keeping Leighton Baines at the team.
Scoring 8 Premier League goals.
I don't know what's going on.
So that was you, by the way, Darius. You headed the ball away. You were doing your part.
Bad clearance.
I thought you did great with a head.
Little Megs on Joe Hart there.
And then do you know who that was at the at the post here that you've gone past?
Micah.
Nedham.
Nedham. Ghosted past him. Yeah, just behind him. Just got behind him. Yeah.
It's a good finish,
yeah.
You rate that finish, Darius?
Yeah.
Having that. You scored another one in that game, did you?
No, not in that game. The return leg at Etihad.
You scored home and away against City that season.
Cup game.
Go on then, shall we show it?
It was
There you go, Joleon.
What?
You've
got more than that. You've got more footage than that. It was literally the end.
Give him more footage. He wants more than that.
Let's have a replay.
Is that Tim Cahill as well
Tim
jumping
Cahill,
on you?
Yeah, Toney pulled
He's
off.
a good goal scorer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Harty, where you going, mate?
Darius, did he mean that?
That's a good header, to be honest.
Yeah.
I work with forwards. I tell them to head it exactly like that.
What else could I do?
Goal, get good contact.
Yeah, just concentration.
What were you doing there, by the way?
I was on up just free play. It was like a corner.
Oh, right,
and then I've stayed up. I always used to stay up because I'm thinking, well, I don't want to just run back now. I've had to earn the right to be up here. I stay up for like second and third phase of play.
Well, I'm sorry that after about 4 years of this, we've never talked about your goal scoring
Prolific
season.
goal scoring.
Your prolific
I think it was up until
season.
you should know that, like your fantasy football team. Up until like 2 years ago, I was the highest scoring defender.
Until Trent came along.
Yeah, Trent. Taking free kicks and all that. Andy Robinson and all them Liverpool guys. But up until that, I was in there.
What a season. And then you came here not long after. So
you get a move and that, you win the Premier League.
Yes, there you go.
I'll take the Premier League over them goals, I'll tell you that.
Do you remember playing against each other? What was he like as an attacker and what was he like as a defender?
No, I remember the City game. Sorry, yeah, when City came to Leicester, I remember that. Was we in the Championship then as well? What game was that? Yeah, we were in the Championship. Yeah. So what was it, a cup game then?
Yeah, it was FA Cup.
Okay, yeah.
I've known Dee for years though. Like it's not just since.
Oh yeah,
I've known him from like. He played my brother.
What about Wolves?
Nah, I played in a pre-season friendly.
Okay, yeah.
Played in a pre-season friendly, but like we used to play in the summer with each other as well. Them games that we.
I used to play with his brother as well when his brother was at Villa when I was a young boy.
So I used to go and watch training and reserve games. Yeah, so I've known Darius.
He knows all my secrets. That's why.
That's why I could win the games. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I love that. I love that. It's a small football world, a very small football world that we live in. So you're about 15 minutes away now from tonight's 8 p.m. kickoff against Brentford in the Premier League. You will get, as always, full match commentary on the Manchester City app if you're not currently watching on there. It will be Alistair Mann and Andy Morrison who will be guiding you through this evening's Premier League game. Now, a little bit earlier, we did our mystery blue. We gave you clue number 1. We're going to have a little refresh on that now, and I'm going to give you the second clue. So, who is tonight's mystery blue? So, clue 1 was this player captained Man City's FA Youth Cup win in 2008. And then clue 2, this man is a former teammate of both Joleon and Darius at City and at Leicester. So, I reckon you guys don't say it, but I reckon you must be able to work it out from that. What do you think?
I had a guess after the first one, but from Leicester, that Leicester one's through me.
I think I know.
Don't say it out loud.
You know?
Not allowed.
Yeah, don't say it yet. We've got another clue to give you. I got it on the 3rd.
Oh, no, I'll get it before that then.
Always competitive.
Let me have a
You're
think.
worse than me.
Leicester.
Yeah. Well, let us know who you think it is as well. Of course, the WhatsApp number is on your screen. Let us know who you think it is, and you can keep sending in your questions as well. Or, no?
I don't even want to do the show anymore. I just want to think of who it is.
We'll just take a second. I'll see what's coming up next. Oh, you're going to have to, because I'm going to ask you, you're going to have to concentrate. I'm going to ask you a WhatsApp question. Considering... oh, it was gone. There was a cracking one there a minute ago about left-backs, and it's gone. I'll see if I can find it again in a second. But I love this question, so thank you. Keep sending your WhatsApp questions in. Josh has sent one for Darius. Would you rather be in a front two with Haaland or with Toney? Love that question, Josh.
That's a great question.
What are you thinking about, Darius?
No, I'm just thinking.
You're still thinking who the mystery blue
thinking
was.
Where I'll get my advantages from. Haaland. Yeah, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
I think that I would compliment him. He'd get more goals with me in the team. I think I stretched the game quite a lot. I think he could make... I'd like to run him behind. I think he could create a lot of chances from the spaces that will be left. That's not to say that Ivan Toney couldn't. I just think that there's similarities between me and Ivan Toney, whereas there's not as many between me and Haaland. Probably with the goals.
I love that. Was proper thought out.
Yeah.
That's what was going on in his head there.
Nice.
There we go. Proper thought out. And that was a brilliant question. Thank you so much for sending that one in. One for you, Joleon, from Lewis. How would you play against Haaland and Alvarez?
Again, it's a mad one, that, because, like, they were kind of the combinations that you come up against when I was playing. So that was, say,
it used to be
Michael Owen and Emil Heskey. Like, that was as Wayne Rooney and Van Nistelrooy. Like, you know what I mean? So you're used to that kind of variation,
isn't it?
partnerships.
So your partnership's now important with who you're with.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So how you become out on top, you're not guaranteed to do that. Like, world-class players win the games 9 times out of 10. So you try to stop the supply and frustrate them. But with the way the game's gone now, like, say, if I take it back to, say, Wayne Rooney, if you limit his touches, he's getting frustrated, and then he's going to go everywhere and just get involved because he wants to touch the ball, where Alvarez and Haaland don't seem like that's their objective. They're not interested in the build-up. They want to score. So if you know that's the case, you kind of let them go and engage in the play, but then when you come to the box, then you obviously have to be more frustrating and stepping in front and limiting opportunities that way. But there's not one way that you're going to stop world-class players, like, especially when it's Kevin, because we've seen so many times that Kevin will put a ball that only Haaland can reach. Like, defenders can't even reach it, and if you do, it's probably an own goal. So it's not impossible, but it's very difficult.
Thank you. Loved those answers. They were proper, well thought out answers. Thank you so much, and thank you very much for sending in your WhatsApp questions. I found the left back one that I want to ask Joleon, so I'll try and do that at half-time or at full-time. That's coming from Julian. Thank you so much, and you can keep sending your questions in as well. But we've less than 10 minutes now till kick-off, so we need to head back over to Brentford to get the final thoughts from FG and Paul Dickov.
Yes, thank you very much, Natalie. Here we are, pitchside. The players are just behind us doing their final preparations for the game, and it's time for our final thoughts, Paul. First things first, a word on the atmosphere here. It's an interesting set. You're very close to the pitch, but there's a lot of Manchester City lovers, and it's not just from the away section, it's on the home section as well.
It is, and look, it's great to see all the young kids here. They want to see superstars. We've got a team full of superstars. It only holds just over 17,000, but there'll be a big atmosphere tonight for what's going to be a huge game.
A game under the lights, but you can see the players there. They're really in game mode. We saw it behind the camera. You might be able to see it as they're behind us. They've given themselves a team talk between themselves now. It's this seems like a very, very motivated group, if we didn't know that already.
It is. Look, we've said for seasons now how together they are, but standing this close to them, FG, you can hear them talking to each other, egging each other on, spurring each other on for the game. And, you know, we'll end up doing predictions and everything else, but we've just watched the finishing here. If Rodri doesn't score tonight, I don't know what's happened. Every single shot has flew into the top corner.
Right, and we're talking, like, left foot, right foot, far out. It's just absolutely ridiculous. What a footballer he is. And, like, I run out of words for him at this point.
Yeah, dude, look, he's that good. For me, we keep saying it, he's the best in that position in the world, not just in the Premier League. And, you know, seeing him in the midfield alongside Bernardo, Kevin tonight, possibly Phil in there tonight. Who knows? I hope the guys in the studio have worked it out.
So we've got Phil, we've got Kevin, we've got Bernardo, we've got Erling, we've got Joleon. I mean, this team is just absolutely stacked. And
it is. And you look at the bench as well, you know, the players that are on the bench. I can't wait to watch the game tonight. You know, you can sense, look, I always think we're going to win anyway, but seeing them there warming up, they're up for it tonight.
Well, they're up for it. I'm sure the pocket of away fans in the corner will be up for it, and I know for a fact the people in the studio will be as well. Let's head back to everyone in the studio now.
Thanks, FG. Thank you, Paul Dickov, as always. I'm always surprised when they let FG that close to the players. You know, he's about a metre away from them there, and it just feels like he might end up, like, stepping on and getting involved or hugging them or something. But thanks so much there, FG and Paul Dickov, as always. They were throwing back here again. They really are not answering that question, the two of them, about who is playing where.
Yeah. When I think about it now, yeah, I think it'll be Phil and Alvarez out wide. Yeah, because Alvarez tends to play in that space that Kevin has left recently due to injury, and I would be surprised. As much as I want to see it, I'll be surprised if it's
Phil inside.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I just don't think it will stay that way.
No.
Yeah, I just think it will change.
Yeah.
Wherever they can get an advantage, they might flip around the other side, the opposite sides.
Yeah.
So less than, well, about 5 minutes away from kick-off now. My getting to the end of the show question for you both. What sort of game are you expecting?
For me, City win all day. Just looking how nice the pitch is, thinking about them, you know, coming back with all of their players. I'm going for making a big statement after the two heavy hitters had a match on the weekend. Obviously, Arsenal coming on top. I think they make a big statement today. I'm going to go 3-1 or 4-1. I do think Brentford will score.
Yes, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm confident like that as well. I think the circumstances play into City's hands. Nice pitch. added motivation of Liverpool dropping points.
Is that? Do you think is that a motivation for them?
Yeah, 100%. Like, they're top of the league, so as much as you know Arsenal are still a threat, but Liverpool are top of the league, so you want them to drop points. And Haaland, you know, when you've been out, this is a level of excitement to play. Like, regardless of anything, you just want to play, and he'll be very enthusiastic.
It's the kind of game you want to come back to if you've been out for a while as a forward.
On
Brentford
TV.
Away. Yeah, on TV, Brentford away, nice pitch.
Serious, like, there's
Did you care about that?
Yeah. Yeah, why wouldn't he want to be the guy on telly? Like, you want to, like, I want to be, I'm Erling Haaland, I'm going to score maybe a hat-trick. And it's easy for him to think that because, like, if he scores the hat-trick, now, that isn't a surprise to anyone.
It's expected almost.
It's kind of crazy just to think that the norm for someone like that is a hat-trick. Yeah, because he can.
Did you give your score there?
I'm going to say 4-1.
4-1, you went 3 or 4-1. Okay, well, the teams are in the tunnel there, as you can see, so I'm going to thank Darius. Thank you, Joleon, as well. We will all be back here at half-time and, of course, as full-time as always. Full match commentary is available on the Manchester City app now with Alistair Mann and with Andy Morrison. So we'll see you at half-time. Hopefully, we'll be talking about some Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne link-ups, and hopefully we will not be talking about the way we did about Brentford last season. So we'll be changing that. Come on, Erling, get your 21st club. We want to see it. We'll see you at half-time.